Hello everyone, I'm Mr. James. I'm 13K's tutor. Mr. James sits here. He sits here like this talking to his tutor group. Hello 13K. And in 13K we have some great people. We've got Luke Brixton, who sits here, well, and here, and here. He's a big lad. And then over here at the back we've got Richard Bosworth. And Richard sits like this. Hello sir, I'm going to be a primary school head. I'm good at everything. There's nothing I'm not good at. That's Richard. And then over here we have the lovely Georgia Vickers, and she sits here and she's on The Apprentice. You might have seen her. She's a very, very good businesswoman. Okay, and over here normally we have Max Mountney, or Max Monnier. Now he's not there because normally this is Max. Max will come in. Oh, sorry sir, sorry I'm late. Chicken's on the road again on the A6, struggling. And then he'll go and sit down. And over here we would have Ross. And Ross sits here and he sits down and puts his feet up. And I keep telling him to put his feet down. And Ross is in this corner. Sometimes you can't see him. He's not that big a lad, Ross, so occasionally he disappears in view. And then over here we have Amy Beckett. Amy Beckett sits about here. She's our cake maker, Amy. And we celebrate everyone's birthday when they're 18, and Amy normally makes the cake. Beautiful. Now, you ready? Gabby normally sits here, when she's here of course. Not that we don't trust her, but now and again she's off to Italy. She's not really going to work, she's going with her boyfriend, but you know, school sanctions it, mom say it's okay. Gabby's going to show up at the ball. She'll probably show up in that sort of colour. I mean entirely in that sort of colour. A nice gold tangerine look. Okay, Anna. She sits by Georgia, the apprentice. She drives to school. Dad's got a garage, big driver, likes the cars. She drives to school. And then over here we have Grace. Grace sits here with an art folder that's bigger than Grace actually. So I need to get off to art now, so that's okay. And off she goes to art because she spends her whole life doing art. And then over here we have Katie Pittman in the corner. Katie's from Belper, you know, the holy town of Belper. And she sits here and she says, Sir, I need to talk to Richard at this, so I let her talk to Richard, that's fine. And then we have Saskia next to Katie, and Saskia sits here. She's very bohemian and says, do you think I'm pretty, sir? Do you think I'm pretty? And I say, yes, Saskia, you are pretty, of course you are. And then we move on. This is where Sarah lives. Sarah sits here, and Sarah sits here with her cheeks puffed out because she's our resident 13K chipmunk. And she normally wears sort of turquoisey teal colour, which I just think she'll wear probably for the rest of her life. Now over here, next to Sarah, because they're attached to the hip, is Hugh. Hugh wanders in late because Sarah has wandered in late. Hugh comes in early because Sarah's come in early. They are definitely joined at the hip. And then we have Aggie. Aggie, form prize winner, Buddhism winner, philosophy of religion winner, just a general winner. Aggie doesn't work very hard though, always out clubbing at night, never see her on time, terrible student, one of our worst tutees in 13K. And then we have Jake. Jake normally here when Luke's left some room for him, so when he's off to Cyprus, you know, playing his rugby, there's some room for Jake. Jake is our other sport Billy. He's going to Twickenham. If only he could spell it. If only he could spell it, how good is that going to look? Right, this is where Ed Wright sits. Ed, I love Ed. His parents bought him a skydiving lesson, or have a go. Don't know what that says about their love for Ed, but anyway, I had to point out that Ed's adage in life is, if at first you don't succeed, skydiving's not for you. Over here, we have Cluffy, Dr. Clough. Dr. Clough sits like this, working away. Nobody can read anything that he writes because of course he wants to be a doctor, and who can read doctor's writing? Nobody. And then we have Mike. Mike ordinarily sits about here. Mike, curly hair, quite bouffanted, sit there, say very little Mike, but he's very studious, he's very quiet, quite astute about things. He'll just watch what's going on and then he'll leave, and that's Mike. But at the end of the day, this is what you really want, is what all the tutor groups are jealous of. It's 13K's Rounders Trophy, Interform Rounders Trophy. If you don't succeed at university, if you can't get a job, you can always fall back on the success of a Rounders Trophy. Fantastic. One of my proudest days with 13K. But genuinely, I hope you have a great time at university or whatever career you may pursue in the future. I genuinely wish you all the very best. You'll be a tutor group I will miss for a number of reasons, and I don't say that about all my tutor groups. It's very Buddhist, I guess, of me, but I wish you every success. Cheerio.